Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Good.
Good.
Good, Jason. Oh,
Oh, EB Games
was,
bag in the background, which I don't know if it actually was visible in the first place, but that good? Like you picked up something good from
yeah.
from
Also,
a...
accidentally pressed the space bar and the video started playing in the background. I was like, "What the hell?"
Oh, that's right. Didn't come through. We're
Hell no.
safe. We're safe. Pick up anything
I thought
decent
that
from
was
EB since we're now commenting on a bag that's in the background?
no
No.
one controller. That's it.
He went and bought a pop vinyl.
No, I brought 9 of them. Got the 10th one
Oh, sorry,
free.
what'd you say? A controller.
Helldivers too.
Oh, that's the bag from the Helldivers one. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, well, I guess talking about Helldivers, PlayStation, that can segue across very loosely to the fact that we're talking about State of Play this week. We've had an Xbox Developer Direct, we've had the Nintendo Switch showcase-ish, and now PlayStation's kind of stepped up and had their turn. And look, it was a fairly lengthy one with a fair few games. If anyone's seen you on social media, they'll know that you weren't necessarily crazy about the whole thing. Technical error on my end, so we're going to go through every single one of the games that were shown at the State of Play this week, and yeah, off the back of Xbox having their own showcase, Nintendo having theirs, I guess it's starting to kind of flesh out what the year itself is going to look like a little bit. You weren't necessarily crazy about it. I've got full thoughts for people to go check out, but let's kind of, I guess, go through the games one by one in the order that they all were presented. So, Matto, the showcase kicked off with Monster Hunter Wilds. Our thoughts about that game pre-release are pretty clear already. But what do you think of what they showed?
Well, I'll start off with my tweet to start off with. I think I just had. I don't know if it was an off day. I did watch the showcase again today. I think I just during the whole process, I think I was getting irritated by certain games that were shown. I think the more the ones the games got shown, the further it went on, the more irritated I got. But with Monster Hunter Wilds,
but we'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
we'll start off with Monster Hunter Wilds. I saw that. I said I don't care, so I skipped it. So I've already pre-ordered it. I don't need to see it anymore.
Yeah, I can appreciate
for a game that's coming out in 2 weeks or less, week and a half's time, which I just find weird. But that's Capcom's doing, not Sony's doing, or it's both they're doing. I don't know.
They're working together. There's a marketing arrangement between the two, clearly. And Monster Hunter, 2 weeks out, like you just want to keep driving numbers and you just want to keep driving conversation about it. So I kind of get why it's still popping up everywhere. For me, I was just kind of frustrated they didn't really say much here. And I'd actually rather the fact, like, Mizutsune, our old mate from Monster Hunter Rise, when we did the demo and failed colossally at it back in the day. Mizutsune is coming back, but at the same time, they're like, oh, but this is post-launch content. Like, you haven't even launched the game yet. Can we just slow up talking about post-launch stuff and the roadmap? Have some showcase, I don't know, a month in, a couple of weeks after the launch even. Let's go, okay, you're enjoying Monster Hunter Wilds, now here's what we're doing, instead of, presuming a whole lot before the launch. They'll be seeing pre-order numbers, and I'm sure they're high, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also the fact too, it's a monster from a previous game, so I was like, I've already seen that monster before. It's not like, oh wow, it's not a Pookie, I don't care, or a Raffalo.
I'm trying to remember World and Rise now, and I guess outside of when the actual big expansions dropped, so whether it was Sunbreak or Iceborne, outside of the fact that there was new monsters that would come with that, when they were just kind of dropping new things, I think of Zinogre for example with World, or even I've just gone blank on his name. Old mate that looks like a T-Rex. Not Anjanath.
Are we talking about World? That thing has.
I am talking about World. He's Devil Joe. Like when they kind of got added in, they were already monsters from previous games. So I guess they're kind of going down a similar sort of road here. But I am with you. I'd love for them to go, and here's something new, and not necessarily have to wait
even talk about that whatever the hell that electric monster was in the beta we played.
Well,
it wasn't a Rathalos, I know that, but I want to know more about that one because we got our asses kicked with that big monster, whatever it was. where we got
gonna
electrocuted, and that was the end of that.
I'm gonna double check its name
I don't know.
because yeah, it caused us all sorts of grief in that demo,
I
and
mean, they
it
could
was
have
kind of
talked
meant
about.
to.
I know it's meant to. They could have talked about that. Would have been much
Yeah,
better than
it's 2 words. I
you
know
know.
that. I just gotta try and find it, but it was 2 words. Monsters. Yes. Just show me them all.
Show me the damn monsters, would ya? There's only 3.
Oh, Ray Dow.
Radar, that's the one. Yeah. Talk about Radar.
Yeah,
Would have
they
been
were
much more better.
anything. Yeah, and yet like the last 2 times we've seen it, we've obviously Mizutsune. They showed a Rathian in the last one. Like I'm so, okay, like we know these monsters. It's going to be good to fight these monsters. They are good monsters, but something new would be good. I don't think. I mean, outside of a marketing thing, I don't think this game needed to be there. It was probably because of the marketing thing that they've gone. Well, we need to come up with something. So I don't know, show off something down the road. Anyway, next up is Shinobi: The Art of Vengeance. Shinobi we haven't seen in decades at this point as a franchise, but it's back. What'd you make of this one? 2D side scroll. It's coming out August, if I remember from the trailer.
I never heard of the franchise before. And it's also interesting too. Like we said, we referenced this once before when some guy said, "Oh, 2D platformers are dead." They're not. They had a rest, as we have come to. I would say now they're also making another comeback. We've had Prince of Persia last year, and we've got this. This is another 2D platformer.
I mean, we're getting
I can't remember what it's called.
we're getting the 2D Ninja Gaiden that's coming later this year.
Oh yes,
Before Ninja
that's
Gaiden
it.
4 comes out, and also just so you're aware, there's 12 prior Shinobi games, and the most.
Oh
recent,
really? And I've heard
came
of
out in
zero of
2011.
them.
So
Wow. So I've heard of 0 of them. That's
and
great.
they go back as far as the arcade and
Early days. That is Sega, of course.
and Master System stuff. So they're a bit more. Yeah, they were more down that side of things until I started branching out. But yeah, it's a Sega brand. So, that said, now that I see some numbers here on Wikipedia, there's been 4.6 million copies of the franchise sold. So they're only averaging about 100,000 or so per game. So not crazy numbers, but it's good to see this one back though. It's very much hack and slashy and those sort of things, and I'm keen to give it a go, I guess. Did it look interesting to you? Does it feel like something you might be keen to play?
I'd 100% give it a go because, unlike some of the other PlayStation games that were shown, which we'll get to, they weren't Souls-like.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy to give it a go.
I guess I'm interested to pick some of the Souls-like stuff apart with you when we get there. But for now, we're on to another Sega game, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I don't know. They're trying to bring in the whole ring logic from the movies, as kind of them being like portals to other places. So then you're kind of leaning into a little bit of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart stuff as you're blending one world into another and all that sort of. It's interesting. And I do believe that Sonic All Stars Racing, which now goes back a fair way, it's probably 10 years old, that game now, but apparently it was really, really good. So,
oh, was it?
Like not Mario Kart sort of levels of good, but like seriously a good game. So I'm interested. My son's taken a real liking to all things Sonic because he's seen all 3 movies. He hasn't played a single game, hasn't seen me even playing a game, but he's into it because of the movies.
They just make him avoid the really, really bad ones, which is like
no, we'll be really selective. Like we're going to play things like Sonic Generations, for example.
Actually, you can get him to play you can play the bad ones first, then just slowly improve.
Look, I'm in no hurry. Like I don't really play Sonic anyway. I've never been much of a Sonic fan. So if he just kind of moves through the movie phase and then we don't go play Sonic ever, that's fine. I can deal. But the racing game is meant to be pretty good.
Yeah, so my first thought when watching this going, I need to play Mario Kart because it felt very, very similar in some areas.
Yeah.
Apart from the changing of locations during the race, that is actually quite interesting. And if Mario Kart does that in the next game, we know where they got the idea from. Yeah. Nintendo, Sega.
Yeah, that's true. It'll probably be too late because
Sega.
I feel like there's every chance. It was a beta or something that was going live soon, but I still feel like there's every chance that Mario Kart 9 could actually beat this game to market anyway. I mean, the Switch event is in April. Console's probably only a couple months later. Seems like Mario Kart's a launch title. Mario Kart might actually beat it to shelves anyway, but we'll see what happens. Next up, I don't know what sort of history you've got with Digimon. I've got zero history with Digimon. Don't care at all. But Digimon Story Time Stranger.
I didn't even know it still existed, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just saw it, just go, what is this crap? I mean, I've played Digimon since the little things.
Little ones you put together when we were all primary school age?
Yeah, we used to have battles with people and see if you're better than your friends and cry when it dies, 7 days later. Then you got to go through the process again, clean up its shit and all that, or just not care less, and you go, you know what?
No.
I'm just going to let it swim around its own shit. But no, I didn't realize that Digimon was still a thing. When I saw it, I thought, I was like, this is where the irritation level started to rise a little bit, where I just saw Digimon, I thought, what is this crap?
There's been actually I'm going to double check now, but there's been quite a few Digimon games in fairly recent years, actually. Where are we? Digimon World: The Next Order was 2007. I'm sure there's something more recent than this, but 2017. The Digimon World Next Order was also 2016. Oh, the Digimon Story thing, which is kind of what this is, dates back to 2006, but there was one as recently as 2019. And they were meant to be pretty solid games, not like ever kind of close to like Game of the Year sort of conversations, but solid 7.5, 8 sort of games. So I mean, maybe this one's good, but yeah, I just can't think of many people that are like I ever hear talk about Digimon outside of reminiscing we did about those little games.
I think because the unfortunate thing with Digimon is it just gets drowned out by another game called Power World.
Yeah.
And Pokemon. Mainly Pokemon.
So, next... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, they probably got drowned out by another game called Pokemon Go, which is, let's be honest, not a real game. Just people finally getting exercise.
Did I play a lot of it? I played so much of that game. And for many years after people kept going. And then I started spoofing it. And then I lost the enjoyment. Funny about that. Cheating kind of killed the fun. Next up is one of the big hitters from the showcase, Lost Soul Aside, which is one of the China Hero Project titles. So PlayStation's been working with China for many years. That's obviously how there was the partner how there was the partnership has also probably helped them that Xbox's console was shit house, the Series S specifically. And so you couldn't get Black Myth running up on it. But Lost Soul Aside is one of the China Hero Project games. PlayStation's put a lot of money into the region trying to build it up. This one's been developed mostly conceived by one bloke for like the last 10 years.
With one guy?
Pretty much. It's not as simple as that, but I'm going to kind of fact check while we're going. But the guy who they present is doing pretty much everything.
I'll say if it's done by one guy, give that man a medal, I say, because it does look very impressive for somebody doing it on their own.
I'm Googling it. It began as a solo developer by developer Yang Bing with its first and then it's probably grown a little bit, but like for the most part, like all the core ideas, one guy stem from one guy. This is definitely not a super collaborative sort of project. But that said, he's been very clear that like there's inspirations from Final Fantasy like 15.
It looks very Final Fantasy-ish. Very. That's what I thought. I thought, it's just a rip-off Final Fantasy game. But it is Sony. It looks nice. Just don't know if it's a Souls type game or not.
I don't think it is. The way it looks, actually, like I talk about Final Fantasy 15, it looks to keep giving out those sort of vibes. Like I feel like the inspiration from Final Fantasy, which he's been very public about, I think that the game's going to kind of follow that sort of trajectory a bit and be more of an action RPG rather than a Souls-like grind thing. We'll see. Could be very wrong, but I feel like it's not a Souls-like, but I guess your comments around Souls-likes before I can kind of see maybe where you're going now with some of your earlier comments. But it's out. I guess The problematic thing for the game, we talk about Souls-likes, the problematic thing for this game is its release date. It comes out May 30th, which unfortunately would have already been locked in stone in this video. Would have already been prepared and ready to roll out, obviously, for the state of play. So it probably didn't help his case that 12 hours earlier, Bandai Namco announced that May 30th is also the release date for Elden Ring Night Rain.
Oh dear.
That's which is now, as we record this, the closed, like the network test is running. We've got Sean from Player 2 who's playing at the moment and has already been letting me know that he feels real good about it. I've seen plenty of other really positive sentiments online. He even said that, like, he goes, mate, you don't even like Souls-likes. You don't, complain about the difficulty of Souls-likes. The co-op nature of this, and it's just kind of match made. At least in that context, maybe it's not quite the same in the full release, but it was matchmaking and those sort of things. So I could just get paired up with some sort of gun Elden Ring player and get carried the whole way through it. So straight away I go, oh, all right, maybe I can get through a Souls game here, like a real one where they've got the difficulty up and they're not trying to they're not trying to give me an easy way out, any of that sort of thing. So yeah, I guess for me the one bit of bad news is the release date when it comes to that.
So typical Sony fashion of try to bury a game.
They've horizoned it.
Well, it's there. So this poor developer's now the new gorilla of Sony. That poor man. All his hard work's going to get absolutely decimated by Elden Ring.
Hopefully I wonder if they won't change the date. I feel like they might change the date. I don't know. It's a weird one. Sony would have known, but again, it might have been a bit. I presume Sony would have known. Might have just been a little bit too late. But yeah, the news came out about 8 or 9 hours before the state of play. So bad luck there. Next one is, we talked about Monster Hunter Wilds before, another game that's coming up really, really soon. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. And also there was some Yakuza, or like a Dragon crossover DLC for Dave the Diver.
Yes, Ichiban.
Ichiban's coming to, Dave the Diver. But, Like a Dragon, what are you thinking? The core game.
Great, but same thing again. It's coming out this Friday, the game. So, again, a week from when it was, State of Play was shown, not when this episode goes to air. But I think they did say it was like a free-to-play demo or something.
There's a demo that's out now,
I think that's what they said there. I was like, I've still got like 5 other Yakuza games to get through first before I even think about the Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Stay tuned on the Player 2 website within the next 24 hours of this episode going to air for more on Pirate Yakuza. That's
really?
I'm not playing it.
Oh, clearly not. You still got
because I've still got 25 games to play the franchise before I get to that. But yeah, stay tuned for some Pirate Yakuza stuff. Dave the Diver, Ichiban's in it. Like, they're just collaborating with everything. They're like Balatro, really, where they're just trying to cross over with anyone at the moment. So, good. But I suspect you didn't have any significant thoughts about the Dave the Diver part?
Not really, because I haven't yet
played it.
Dave the Diver.
Splitgate 2 is next. Portal Cross Halo. They've done it once before. The game was very, very popular, but they didn't really plan for its success, so they didn't have kind of that long tail where they could kind of get DLC and expansions and all those sort of things going. So this time around, that's absolutely the forefront. I think for me, the one big thing is, like, the game looks really good, and they were teasing an open beta through this, or sorry, not teasing, but like they were showing off an open beta for this. My concern is, will they be able to recapture the audience for a second time, even though they've got all their ducks in a row and the content pipeline maybe is perfect, but will people come back a second time, or do they blow it by not being ready for the first time? I don't know. We'll see.
Also, I didn't realise there was a Splitgate 1. So I was kind of surprised when they said Splitgate 2. I was like, oh, there was the first one? It's like, so he's back at their best of really not doing well with this whole online multiplayer style shooting games.
No, I mean, to be fair, this was on Xbox as well. But the original Splitgate was awesome. Like, it was really, really popular. And was in the eyes of a lot of people, it was like what people wanted Halo multiplayer to be. But they just, they're a small indie developer. Couldn't get the the pipeline right to kind of get future content out. So they said, okay, well that's it. That's the content for that. Please keep enjoying the game, but we're going to get to work on a sequel. We will kind of get that right. So hopefully for their sake, people come back. Next up is WWE 2K25. Did it gross you out because it was basically the NBA 2K neighborhood?
I think this is where irritation's level just absolutely peaked when I saw this whole the island bullshit. It's like, I've played NBA 2K and I just looked at it going, microtransaction island, here we come.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, here's all these cool outfits. Like, yeah, how much is that outfit going to actually cost you in real money? It's just like they're really selling it well. And I'm going there going, no. I've seen this before with my neighborhood in NBA 2K. That was garbage. This is going to be absolutely top tier garbage.
Yeah.
I wasn't even excited about it when I saw it. I thought, oh man, it's like, how do you ruin an NBA, a 2K game? That's how you ruin it. You watch when it comes out how absolutely outraged people are going to be. For people who have never played NBA 2K, we should point that out. Anyone who's played NBA 2K, oh, they know, and they'll still do it.
I'm curious, like, do they have a neighborhood or island style equivalent in the PGA games? Because like now that they've kind of brought them to
give it
PGA
time.
2K,
Give it time.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're kind of.
I feel like they go
seeing
through the
that roll
stage
out
of
across the
sort
board.
of. I feel like they get to that stage where they just drag you in first, so you get hooked. Then they bring in the old microtransactions, and then you'll complain, do this, do that, whatever. And guess what you'll do every year? Buy the damn game. It's what NBA 2K has been doing for the last 10 years.
I mean, that game, the PGA comes out in same day as Monster Hunter, so that's out in 2 weeks. So we'll get a bit of a sense for that. But yeah, couldn't care less when it comes to wrestling. So I happily. Well, this was all going to air while I was teaching my Year 12s, and I was kind of like, I delivered the content and was trying to keep my eye on the screen as much as I possibly could. This was a moment though where I very, very happily walked off and went and helped someone. Next up though is a game that is right up there, I think, for both of us on the most anticipated lists. Wasn't crazy about Randy getting up there to talk about it, but Borderlands 4. What'd you think?
Yes. Didn't really care too much for the trailer because it was just about 30 seconds of shooting.
I love the grapple thing that they've got going.
The grapple thing. But the one thing I did notice out of the whole thing, after 4 games, I'm pretty sure we finally have blood and exploding bodies. I could be wrong on that.
I'm trying to think about. Oh, geez, I can't picture in Borderlands.
I was saying, I don't recall. I never recalled any of the other Borderlands games having any form of blood. But I could be wrong on that, but...
Unless it was stuff that was like already on an environment. So you mean like, when you kill an enemy and then blood comes out?
I can't remember. You probably have to go back and look at like 3 or 2 and just see, because I'm pretty sure, like when you shot some of the shotgun, I don't. Oh no, with sniper rifles, if you blew their head off, their head disappeared. But I don't know if it's like full body decapitation.
I don't know why I can't picture it now. After all the Borderlands that I've played over the years.
That's what I think. Because I'm looking at it going, oh, blood. But then then again, I'm trying to figure out, I was like, wait, was there blood in the other games? Definitely not 1, because I'm playing 1 at the moment. No blood there whatsoever. 2 and 3, pre-sequel, Tiny Tina. We shall find out.
Yeah.
Maybe this year.
Either way, I think the game looks really good.
It looks good, don't get me wrong.
It'll just be down to the writing, I think. That's going to be
the release date. Yes. The writing, the story, the villain, your characters, what characters are going to be in there, what characters are going to get ignored again. Oh man, that's what annoyed me with 3. Is like all these characters you have, and you ignored about half of them. And
Torg barely got a gig, and they focused on some of the worst ones in Borderlands 3. The release date, you kind of alluded to that for a moment. So we do have a release date.
It's a very, very dangerous release date. Very dangerous.
I don't think it's that dangerous at all. Keep in mind, this is the same. Like Take-Two owns 2K, and so Borderlands,
So
and
they
GTA.
got his time.
So
They've
they
got
already
his
know.
time.
They already know when the
They've got
release
his
date is.
information.
What
Okay.
for me, what this tells us is that GTA is probably October, November, probably late October, or sometime November, assuming it does still hit its 2025 release date.
I forgot about the part where they're now back being owned
Yeah, yeah,
by 2K. I forgot about that part.
yeah. So 2K is very, very aware of what their kind of schedule looks like. I think when we eventually get a release date for Mafia, because I think that was meant to be this year as well, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Mafia the old country, or Mafia the
Old country,
old
yeah.
country. I'm pretty sure it was 2025.
Yes.
It's targeting mid 2025. So depending on where that could be an interesting one where that drops. If that's like July, August, then there's definitely no way that GTA comes out before Borderlands. So then we can that puzzle slowly comes together a little bit thanks to this particular release date. Then you also factored in the NBA 2K's got to drop somewhere in that window, and that's always late October. They won't want to sabotage what is outside of GTA their biggest money earner. So to me, instantly that goes it's November, but we'll see. Next up is Split Fiction. Again,
also just say with the Borderlands 4, is that they also said that there'll be we call it a gameplay presentation.
Yeah, they're going to do a dedicated state of play.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. I thought, cool, but you came here to promote your state of play for the next state of play. Brilliant.
I mean, it could have been promotion for a second movie, so it could have been a lot worse.
Oh, no, please, no.
Next up is Split Fiction, and we've obviously spoken about this when it comes to Monster Hunter and, of course, what am I going blank on? What was the other game? We've had multiple games.
Like a Dragon.
Yeah, and Yakuza, thank you. This is another one that comes out really, really soon. It's less than a month away. It's about 2.5, 3 weeks away now at this point. And the game has also been gold for 2 weeks. Split Fiction, so it's Hazelight's newest. That's It Takes Two for anyone who's not familiar with the game. What are you thinking about this one? Because obviously it's only been a publicly acknowledged game for a couple of months anyway. It was announced at the Game Awards, and now it's nearly here. We're getting a couple more trailers. This will probably be the last one now before the launch. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I'll say my thought is I really got to play It Takes Two. I know it's got absolutely no relation to. Probably it's probably on Games Pass somewhere.
I was going to say I started playing, had a great time with it, then didn't get to finish it. My wife some of her health stuff flared up, and so I didn't actually get a chance to finish the game for fairly reasonable reasons at that particular point. I'm looking for someone to actually play it with and see it out. So if you're keen at some point, but admittedly in my case I'm playing it on PlayStation. I've got it on PlayStation. But we'll see how we go. See what happens. Split Fiction, though, I think is going to be great.
The story sounds great. Don't get it. I was like, everything about it, I thought, I could get into this. It's just getting around to play it is just the key thing. Like, that's all I've got to do. It's not like
a 6 to 8 hour long game, which might make it a bit easier.
That's not bad.
I
means you can play it again.
Next up is, and after a year's break, the Dark Pictures is back. With Directive 80/20, so they're going like sci-fi horror now. Which I guess all this was kind of leaked a while. Like these sorts of things, they leaked. Unfortunately, the next 4 games were all kind of leaked at one point. But this was one of them, and I'm kind of glad this is the next one. It feels like a massive change of pace, and the fact they've also taken a couple of years on it makes me hopeful that the quality is a little bit higher, more like their old. Until Dawn sort of level, as opposed to some of the weaker performances from the Dark Pictures so far. We'll see. But what are you thinking of it? October 2nd.
Okay, I actually thought it was made by another developer, but
massive.
They announced something later on in the showcase, so that it wasn't them. But yeah, I haven't played any of the Dark Picture games. I just thought it was like, it must be like some sort of alien type game, which it kind of is. I can't remember.
I think it will be. I think there'll be some definite kind of
almost
like alien or alien style horror, I'd imagine.
I think it's just your standard sci-fi thriller of people going mad in space.
Yeah, with the choice and consequence stuff from the other games, which will make it kind of cool.
It's not the Matt Damon of "come rescue me, I'm stuck on Mars" type. Nothing like that. It's just, we're on a ship, let's kill each other. Cool, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I'm behind, but I think this is whether I'm happy to just jump the queue and jump into this one. So we'll see how we go come the end of the year. Can we, speaking of jumping the queue, can we just jump the queue on
Yeah,
this one and not
yeah,
talk about Five
yeah,
Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic
yeah.
that can die in a fire? That we talk about marketing deals when we're talking about Monster Hunter. This is another one of those marketing deal ones, and I get it. The franchise is huge, but fuck off, get out of my showcase. Next up is the Midnight Walk, which was also announced not that long ago, within probably the last 6 months or so, with another state of play. It's also one like the only. Oh, actually, I don't think it was the only. There might have been one other, but it was a PSVR 2 game. It's coming to traditional PS5 as well, but it's a VR 2
Oh,
title, which I
that's
think
where
is
I've
going to
seen
be
it before.
fucking horrifying in VR. But anyway, for some
As I
reason, I
say,
feel like there was another VR game, but I can't think of what it was.
I was trying to figure. I was like, I've seen this game before, and I
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
remember where. Now we said VR. I was like, oh, it makes sense now because I
yeah.
remember some type of claymation style game being somewhere else. I didn't know if it was this one or something completely different.
No, you're right. It is
Same
this
game.
one, and yeah, it was a PSVR 2 title and announced as a PSVR 2 title. And yeah, I don't know if I'm crazy about the idea of playing it in VR. I still have a little bit of PTSD from trying Resident Evil 7 in VR.
Oh,
Which, nah. I played the main game and that didn't. I still wasn't prepared for going back into it and doing it in VR. But the game does look very good. So if I'm just going to play it with a controller in hand, I think I'll be pretty happy. What do you think? Do you think it's one you'd consider picking up?
maybe.
Depends if it's
It
good.
depends if it's good, and if it's if I say like oh I should play this, but like I said, I've got a massive backlog of games I've got to try and get through, so it might get forgotten about till next year.
That's fair. The,
Maybe not.
working through the backlog is important. Next up is Konami with like new IP. They've partnered with a developer called Dream Team. I don't know who that is, but it's called Darwin's Paradox. It's a game about an octopus. The physics on it look really, really good. There's a lot actually to like about this game, and Konami hasn't really put a toe wrong so far either. Since they've kind of popped back out of the woodwork. Silent Hill 2 ended up being really good. The Metal Gear 3 remake is looking good. More on that fairly soon. They're kind of on fire at the moment, but I like the look of this one.
Yeah, I'm a fan too. Well, I just thought, what a stupid game for an octopus. They go, oh, you can blend it with your environment. Like, oh, okay, there. Now we're talking. So there's a bit of thought that has to go through what you do in that. It's not just, oh, hey, let's jump here, go there. It's like, no, there's actually some, not say strategy. There's challenge, I should say.
Yeah,
There's a challenge to it
it gives off some Oddworld vibes
with an octopus.
with an octopus, but yeah, like the vibes I get is I'm kind of picturing Abe's Odyssey or any of those sort of titles,
Oh, so you can recruit other octopuses
or
and just
maybe
use them as a sacrificial dummy. Like,
yeah, that's
go
fine
on.
too. I'm okay with that too.
Hey, we're all good with that. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm same again. Fan. See, this is where my irritation levels slowly started to decline,
Decrease at this point.
decrease at this point until we get to another game, which is later on. But
Yeah.
we won't talk about that till we get there. But I thought, nice relaxing octopus game. I'm all for it.
So then, I guess jumping to our next one, were you also then pretty happy with Warriors Abyss, which is like obviously Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, all that, but they've just gone and dropped it, and it's available now. So they've stealth dropped a roguelite title set in the Warriors universe. Taking on thousands of enemies and
Yeah, it sort of threw me away where it said you had, what, 16 billion battle styles. I
yeah,
thought,
I didn't understand that.
It's like, no, you can't have 16 billion different battle
That's like
styles.
Borderlands talking about all their guns
It's like, say, yeah, like we have 16 billion guns. Like, no, you don't. You just have 20 different guns with 20 different,
with lots of different
settings.
names, and
names,
then the stats
settings,
are slightly different. Yeah,
stats, yeah. It's like, that's just silly. But yeah, also, it sort of feels like, I would say quite Diablo-ish, but we go from a third-person perspective to what? Bird's eye-ish?
Yeah,
I
top
don't know
down.
what you would call it. Top down, that's the word. And I thought, oh yeah, I've got to play. I'd say I don't really want to play all the Dynasty Warriors games because, from what I've heard, some are really, really good. Others are not so good.
Origin's the one that literally just came out like 3 weeks ago. Is fantastic, from all reports. But
I'll just
I'm
stick
also
stay
shocked
with
that they've
Dodgers.
dropped this 3 weeks, like, and it's available now. They've dropped this 3 weeks after a major release in the franchise. I don't quite get the logic around that, but from early reports too, the game is very, very good. Steam reviews are saying apparently like it was either very positive or overwhelmingly positive, um, straight out the gate. So there seems to be some positivity about this one, which is good because sometimes those stealth drops can be kind of shit.
Horrendous. Yes.
Next up, we'll cover both of these at once. Onimusha 2, so we had the remake of, or the remaster, I should say, of that announced a little while ago. That's got a release date, I think it was May 23rd, sometime in May, anyway. And then the new title, Onimusha Way of the Sword, which was also announced only recently at the Game Awards, and we then saw it, can't even think, there was a Capcom showcase recently, which no one in their right mind would have actually sat down and watched, but I did. And they just repeated the trailer from the Game Awards. This one they actually showed some gameplay. There was a bit of flashes of gameplay. There was some humor in it. We
Oh
actually got
yeah. Oh,
some
it's
new
like the
content with it,
run
which
thing.
was great.
I thought it was Pirates of the Caribbean for a second. He's just like, oh, there's all these enemies. Run. That was my first one. I was like, oh, this is brilliant.
Um,
However,
Go on.
as I say, no, nothing bad with that. But then I looked at it and thought, does now this combat feels like. Is it this one? I think it was this one. Souls like. Battle wise. But I don't know. But then at the same time, I was thought, is that other game really a remaster? Or
They
not?
they put out a remaster for Onimusha 1 back in like 2018 or something like that. I'm gonna say, and it was pretty piss poor on the remaster side. I think there'll be more effort put into this one. But yeah, it is a remaster. It's like, but it is also a remaster of a PS2 game. So there's only so much you can get out of it.
I now know why I was saying Pirates of the Caribbean, because the enemies just look like things from the sea. They're just
Yeah,
on
they
the
did a
ground.
bit. Yeah,
But
I'm really
oh,
interested
yeah,
in Onimusha, like
I'm
the new one.
interested. Yeah, the new one. Yeah, I'm interested too because it is a Capcom game, and same like
And they're on
whatever
fire.
they're on fire. Yeah, like Konami as well. Like for some reason, why are Japanese companies at the moment just on fire with every game they make? I've got nothing against it. It's nice to see them, make a game, then a year later make another game, and still good. We'd have to
Well,
wait 5 years for another game.
that
I like that.
PS3 360 period was pretty bad for Capcom, for Square Enix, for
Oh, it
Konami.
was really bad.
Konami actually was probably the one that did the best a lot. They still put out Metal Gear Solid 4. They put out the first Castlevania Lords of Shadow, where they worked with Kojima on it. But there was plenty of other things that just weren't firing. I can't think of a good Capcom game at all from that PS3 360 period. When did?
No,
Oh no, sorry,
yeah.
no. I'm trying to. Yeah, I've got my timelines mixed up. Yeah, that Monster Hunter was still pretty much portable at that point. It was on the Wii U, but not the PlayStation or the Xbox.
What's
Lost.
Devil May Cry?
Devil May
Is that Capcom?
Cry. They put out Devil May Cry 4 and also the Ninja Theory developed kind of reboot one that didn't go
Oh
anywhere.
yeah.
It was brilliant actually, but didn't go anywhere. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of good things coming out of Japan when it came to the console space at the time. But starting with kind of Capcom putting out Resident Evil 7, we mentioned that before, they've clicked into gear. Square Enix has been firing again. Konami is, after obviously a lot of trouble with the Kojima thing and disappearing, they've come back now and they're being really strategic in a very Marvel Games kind of way, like where Marvel kind of is saying, well, we're not really going to develop too much in-house. We're going to partner with teams who make sense, who care about the IP and want to do something with it. And that's what we saw, on the Marvel side, and that's how we got Marvel's Midnight Suns and Spider-Man and even the Iron Man VR, all those sorts of different things. And obviously there's plenty more still to come. And Konami's kind of doing the same thing. They're partnering with logical teams who can go and remake Metal Gear Solid 3, sorry, or Silent Hill 2, or whatever it happens to be. Make Octopus games. What it like? I think they're doing a good job at the moment. I have to give them credit. People want to hate them off the back of the Kojima thing, but Kojima's doing just fine now. So let's just focus, I think, on what Konami is doing and what they can do, and they're in a pretty good place.
So you probably also throw Sega in there too.
Yeah, Sega's
Really,
actually really firing. Yakuza, I think, is really what
Oh,
pull and also when they bought Atlas, so they got Persona in
yes.
house. Those two, those two are just doing so much for that franchise. And then surprise, surprise, the quality of Sonic is overall improving. They still have some of their ups and downs, but the quality is improving.
And then
good.
they're bringing back, was it Virtua Fighter
Yeah.
sometime this year too?
Like,
So what are they doing over there? What are they doing right that North America is not doing well?
their finances as a country are shit
I bet.
house. So they actually can hold on to their employees, like the value of the dollar and all those sort of things against the Japanese yen. Like they're not cutting employees left, right, and center like we're seeing here. So they're keeping their talent. So I think that's got a big bit to do with it. Next up though is Hell Is Us, which has been around the traps a little bit.
Did you jump a game there?
Oh, did we Metal Gear, or did we actually talk about Metal Gear?
I don't think so.
Did
We just
kinda
said Konami.
That's right. We kind of touched on it. Yeah, good point. Sorry. Yeah, let's talk about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. What are you thinking of it?
What? I don't understand the whole triangle thing. I still think of it as Metal Gear Solid 3. The trailer looks good. I'm
The
still slightly
triangle
confused.
it's the Delta symbol.
Oh, Delta, is it? Okay. But I'm still slightly confused of why was there an ape from Ape Escape?
Because that was an old collab on the PS2 version of Metal Gear Solid 3. So they're just bringing that back.
I sort of don't remember, like, back in the day, like, the Metal Gear Solid games did get very weird at times. So I thought maybe it's just a Kojima thing back in the day, just weird shit. If I just still remember Metal Gear Solid 2, and I'm still slightly confused on what the hell happened in that game. I'm still scratching my head like 12 years later after playing that game. I was like, what the hell is going on with this game? But I will say the combat and the controls look a lot better than what the old style PlayStation felt like. Because I remember trying to grab someone and just choke him out, and I pressed the wrong button about 20 times and it just never worked. But
this will be my gateway into Metal Gear. I don't have that sort of history like you. I played, what was it, Ground Zeroes, like the prequel to Metal Gear Solid 5.
I don't understand the timeline of Metal Gear. It goes.
But so this game is the beginning of the timeline in terms of Metal
Gear
Solid.
I know that. Yeah,
so that's why I'm pretty keen on this one, because like this is my way in.
Yeah, it's just confused. Like one's like the fourth and two's like the second. I was like, what the hell? Just go and order like a normal person. Like, don't confuse me like that.
Because
like,
he was just making up stories wherever, but he was unfortunately calling him Metal Gear Solid 2 along the way. So he's like, oh shit, what do I do?
Third's the first one. The fourth's the last one. The fifth is the second last one. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, just... It's like, do you call it the best prequel game ever, or just say sequel game? I don't even know. It's just absolutely confusing. But this looks good. I don't know if they got the same Snake actor, and they just got someone that sounds incredibly similar to Snake. Back, they didn't get Kiefer Sutherland back. Didn't want him.
No, I'm pretty sure they got him back.
So that's another game.
Not Kiefer Sutherland, as in.
They got the old
David Hayter. Yeah, David Hayter's back.
Oh, he's come back.
I think.
So I remember when that was the last Metal Gear or the second last Metal Gear Solid game that came out. It did not get good reviews. Was it Phantom? No, it wasn't Phantom.
No, there was a zombie game that came out.
The zombie game,
Phantom Pain.
And people were absolutely tearing it apart, going, "What is this shit?"
He's robbing us of a new David Hayter performance. So they're not recording new dialogue, but it is then the old David Hayter voice.
Oh, okay.
So it works. We're getting the right voice on it. It's just that he's not doing anything new, or he's not updating it or anything like that, which is a bit weird. They probably could have put more effort into that. That's a report going back to 2023. All right, so yeah, let's move on to Hell Is Us, a game that has a lot of anticipation going for it. But also I'm really kind of largely unclear as to exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Is it like a futuristic Last of Us with a drone as your sidekick?
It's very horror inspired. The combat looks pretty brutal.
Very Blade Runner-ish at times.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one.
It's a really interesting one. I think that and I kind of said it actually when I wrote my bit for the Player 2 website. So I just couldn't I'm interested, but I can't really tell you why I'm interested. It's just I'm just hooked, and I feel like I'm far from alone in that. Like I can't really put a finger on why. There's just something about it, and that could end like that's a great thing for sales, but maybe that's not a good thing for I guess critical reception when the game comes out. It's like yeah, there was nothing to it. You had a feeling about it, but there was nothing.
Yeah, so we don't. Do we know what type, what style of games? Just because, or is it just a trailer we got? Is it a third person?
There was hints. Yeah, it's third person. There was hints of gameplay cut within the trailer, but
Survival horror. It's not going to be like like a click and point game. I haven't seen one of those for a while.
third-person action adventure game that contains intense melee combat
Oh,
with the thrill of
intense.
exploration. Explore a semi-open world to find answers to your questions and face mysterious creatures all along your way. That comes directly from the PlayStation website. So the game's listing on the PlayStation.
A thrill of exploration, you say?
The thrill of
So
exploration. Exploration.
Better not be unthrilling because I'll be upset.
Yeah.
But hey, I can't. I'm excited.
So probably not a Souls-like as well. Probably
Oh,
not.
who knows?
Next one definitely is though.
Oh yes.
So let's talk about Lies of P Overture, which is the long-awaited DLC for Lies of P, which I think came out 2021. I feel like it came out before
Hey, really?
Elden Ring, didn't it?
No, it was
Lies
after
of
Elden
P.
Ring.
Oh, was it
Because
the
the whole
after?
Pinocchio
Sorry,
thing
it was after Elden Ring. Yeah.
Because there's the whole
2023.
because there was the whole Pinocchio thing becoming like was it not royalty free? Creative Commons? I can't remember what it is. It was same with the Mickey Mouse thing.
Hit the public domain.
That's the one. Yes, public domain.
Yep, 19th of September 2023. Still, it's going to be close to 2 years by the time this DLC comes out. And they're obviously, from all reports, they're all clearly working on a sequel. And apparently, the moment they announce that, they're just going to have to basically spoil everything from the original Lies of P because there's almost no way around it. But I won't play this because they don't have the difficulty modes in there. Unlike other Souls-likes, your Stellar Blades and those sorts of things, this doesn't have difficulty stuff in it, and so I'm just going to get filtered straight away, which kind of sucks because I like everything I see about it, except that I just won't have. I've got this. I think I'd like to think I've got the skill set. I just don't have the patience, and I don't want to have to play that way. I want to be able to go faster and
just run and gun,
brute force it my own way.
What's Doom saying for
run and gun, stand and shoot, isn't it for this one though?
Stand and shoot. That's what I want to do. I want to stand and shoot. I don't want to duck and weave.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But hey, it's for those fans out there. I won't be playing it either because I reckon I played about 45 minutes of Lies of P. As thought I'm not worthy enough.
That said, you've finished yourself some Souls games, so.
Well, no, I haven't.
Didn't you finish Elden Ring?
I'm still playing Elden Ring. I'm still playing it.
I'm still playing it.
I took a rest for
Bloodborne? Didn't you play a bunch of Bloodborne?
I never played Bloodborne.
Oh, must be. Yeah, okay.
I tried Dark Souls once. Horrible at it. Jedi games. I'm good.
They're fine. They've got difficulty. We get through.
Difficulties. That's why. Well, it was another game in there. I can't remember what it was.
Did you play Sekiro?
Tried to. Yeah, that was one of my things. Like play Sekiro and enjoy it. I did. I just didn't really finish it.
Just didn't finish it.
Also horrible at that too.
Next up is definitely the weirdest game of the bunch, I would say. Dreams of Another, which comes from Q Games. They've done the Pixel Junk games. They've done a whole bunch of different stuff over the years. And this is kind of like a reverse shooter. Whenever you shoot something, you're kind of creating. It's got a very the aesthetic actually looks like it's been ripped out of. I know they're calling it Dreams of Another, but it looks like the aesthetic's been ripped out of Dreams, like the Media Molecule game in some ways. But it also had some weird, creepy vibes at the same time. I really don't know what to make of this. This is a strange game.
It is strange. My thought was like, oh, when's Baby Steps coming out? Because I thought I've never seen anything. That's probably the weirdest thing, that trailer I've seen since Baby Steps. So I just thought for some reason Baby Steps. I don't even know when Baby Steps is. Baby Steps out?
No, it's not out. No, it's meant to be out sometime this year.
Oh right. That's the first thought I had was, oh, Baby Steps. Even though it's got nothing to do with Baby Steps whatsoever, except you just, like you said, doing the tenet of reverse shooting a door.
Yeah,
back to
it's
its normal.
strange.
Is a strange one.
We'll see what happens. I think Q Games is a very talented developer, so we'll see what comes of it. Next up, I don't know if it's gonna do a lot for. I can't remember what experience you had with Days Gone, but we've got Days Gone Remastered, which has been rumored for 12 months. This was kind of inevitable, whether it was at this showcase or somewhere else down the line that it was coming. I haven't checked Twitter to see how John Garvin's reacting to it. I'm going to try and do that now, see if he's put anything out there at all, because he's taken everything that's gone on with Ben Studio very, very well in recent years. So I'm going to have a bit of a scroll and see. But in the meantime, what do you think about Days Gone Remastered? He hasn't said anything. He's been dead silent.
I think someone's taking his phone off him.
His wife's gone, no.
No. You made a fool of yourself with the whole Astro Boy. Put in your Days Gone little, skin in that game. No phone for you.
Yeah. He could also just be feeling very vindicated. Look, because a lot of the reasons behind him leaving in the first place were because PlayStation was pushing this live service thing onto the studio, and he left along with others. Like, there was creative differences, and they left. And now all of a sudden they're going, oh, better go back to Days Gone. Like, the studio's already scrapped the live service game now. Obviously, that was one of the big news stories from a couple of weeks back, and now they're presumably kind of going back to something a bit more typical PlayStation, single player, whatever. And to do so, they've had to they're getting some money by remastering getting the remaster of Days Gone out there. I reckon he's feeling pretty good about himself at the moment. Also, I just saw an Avowed ad while I was watching the footage just now. So the market, we've joked about the marketing with Xbox, but it's happening.
I would say that's probably the first marketing I've heard, because I was thinking that the other day. I thought, when's Avowed come out? It comes out this week.
Yeah, this week
or today, whatever. It was like, I've seen zero marketing for that except on their Xbox store saying, "Hey, buy the premium." I was like, no, I don't want your shitty premium. I was like, where's your marketing for that as well? Even though we're not talking about Xbox, but again,
sorry, but it's just one of those things. This was a natural thing that popped up midway through the show. Because
I think it's just a natural shock out. Yeah, it's a natural shock out. Hey, that's an Xbox game. That doesn't get marketed at all.
And it was half time, so I wasn't even really looking, but I just glanced over.
Out of all places, why the footy? What? That's the wrong audience. I don't know, but it's
maybe it's not in their eyes, or they're just investing big. But yeah, any other thoughts on Days Gone Remastered?
I think with this, I think the irritations, the levels went up a little bit. I just thought it's just a remaster from, was it 7 years ago?
Yeah.
2019. So 6 years ago. It's getting worse. It's like, what's the next one? What came out in 2021? Like, I don't know. I sort of feel like it's like, oh, hey, here's God of War remasters. Like, you don't need to remaster that. That does not require remastering. But they will do it anyway because people will buy it.
And yet, it's probably only a matter of time. But, well, we've seen the PC launch, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's going well.
No, the God of War...
No, not God of War. What was the one that came out? There was was it Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2 didn't get off to a good start. They've been... I've been getting...
Was the Cube back?
Emails almost every other day from PlayStation that's like, this hotfix we've just launched, this patch we've just launched. I'm like, oh, you're scrambling. You're trying to get this one fixed up as quick as you can. And I'm sure they will, and it'll be great, and people will love it. But yeah, that whole thing's going well. But I've cooled a little bit. I mean, yeah, this one was only a matter of time, so I was kind of like, oh, okay, there it is, cool. But I also quite like Days Gone. It's not a 10. It's just a solid 8. But at the same time, don't kill me, John Garvin. There was a recent interview with Shu, like departing PlayStation legend Shuhei Yoshida, with Kind of Funny fairly recently, and he basically explained the whole remaster thing, which is it's kind of a byproduct of the current climate that we're all in. The cost of making games results in them basically going, well, if you want these to happen, we're going to do, like, the new releases to happen, we're going to do the remasters because that gets more money coming in for us. And you'll get, I guess, you think about how they're working now, whether it's this or the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, for example, they're giving those who already own the game, it's just $10. $10 and you get that version, and they make their $10 off you. Sorry, that'll be US, so maybe 15 for us. But they make their money off those people. But then if you never played it, it doesn't matter. You didn't pay full price back in the day. You're not getting gouged here. You're just paying what the game is worth in the current climate, which might be in our money maybe $80, $90. I don't know.
Well, but the thing is though, if you're a smart person, really smart, you go buy a pre-owned version of it.
Yes, no, absolutely. If you're able to get your hands on it.
If you're smart. But then again, EB Games has no games left, so good luck trying to find a pre-owned version of whatever game it is. 15
For what it's worth, Days Gone is going for $24 at EB right now. So
if you can find it. Is it in Queensland somewhere in the middle of nowhere? Go pick it up.
Delivery and collect. But what store have I got it set to? I've got it set to I've got it set to what would be our local, and they don't have it, but there are plenty of stores nearby that do.
Oh, so it's not 4,000 k's away to another
No, we're not
state.
having to go interstate or anything like that this time. So and they deliver. So you could get that.
$40. You could almost go.
Yeah, essentially $40 would get you Days Gone remastered if you wanted it. So I don't mind the logic around the whole thing. Clearly, that's what's going to help make some of the other games, I guess, feasible financially. And they're not like, for those who already own it, they are not ripping you off, and they're adding new content. So I think that's fine as long as they're adding something new for the person who upgrades. I mean, $10-15 is still not a lot anyway, so it's probably easy enough to justify even just for a visual upgrade if you're a fan of it. And if you're not, you weren't going to be picking it up anyway. So yeah, I think I can tolerate it. Next up, we alluded to Stellar Blade before. Stellar Blade is getting some DLC as well as its PC release, which, holy shit, I don't want to go anywhere near the internet in June when that DLC, when people start playing this game on PC. It's going to be heinous.
I just hope someone out there can create a mod just for a laugh of a cardboard box and just put it
over the top of her body.
Over the top of the just for a laugh, because let's be honest, that would be quite funny.
It's like the complete reverse. All these other fucking creeps are like stripping her down to nothing, and then someone puts a cardboard box to preserve her dignity.
I'll just put some. Not trying to be like a dick or anything. Just like some clothes.
Put some clothes on her.
just because it's
something that doesn't hug every single, just doesn't wrap the skin so tightly that.
Like it wasn't a boo boo or something. Just for a laugh, because it'd just be funny because people will get outraged and go, "Oh, what is this shit?" And I'll say, "You know what that is? Funny. That's
real
what
funny.
That is.
That's
hilarious."
Real funny. But yeah, PC release, and then there's what do they call it? Nikkei Goddess of Victory, which is apparently the developer's previous game when they were doing mobile titles. This Nikkei or Nikki, whatever it is, franchise was huge for them on mobile, and they're doing some DLC for that, and that's going to come to PS5 at the same time as the PC launch. So good on them. Stellar Blade was good, I don't think quite as good as some of the Grumses of the world will tell you, but anyway, here we are. Next up, I've kind of bundled a few things here into a PS Plus update. They announced some games that were going to be coming on Feb 18th for the extra tier. One of those was Lost Records Bloom and Rage, which is the new game from Don't Nod, the Life is Strange team. So the first chapter of that is coming to anyone on the extra tier this week, actually, from Tuesday. So people can sink their teeth into that. They then announced there's a whole bunch of Armored Core games, like classic Armored Core games, that are going to be coming to the premium tier. Patapon 3 is coming to the premium tier. Jedi Survivor is coming to extra. I think, was it a PGA game maybe that was coming to extra as well? I feel like I can't remember. I feel like the second of the three games, there was Survivor, there was Bloom and Rage, and there was something in the middle. Can't for the life of me think of what it was. I'll see if I can. Oh, hang on! I just stumbled onto it. Oh, it was. Come back.
A body factor.
It was Top Spin 2K20 something.
Top Spin.
So I was right. It was sport, wasn't golf. So yeah, I guess
there's another one that's going to have an island with it one day too.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Oh.
And then there was some games that, so I guess kind of continuing the trend of the day one launches for PlayStation Plus. I'm going to see if I can try and find their names. Thank you, Game Rant. You've given me an article. Scrolling around to
Game
try and
Rant.
find it. Game Rant.
So they gave you an actual reasonable article to read. It's not bullshit.
Place confirms 3 day one games for 2025. So where are the other? Like I can see
Oh no, I take that back.
lost records. The article
No.
does not, I think, mention. Oh no, there it is. Abiotic Factor and Blueprints were a couple games that they announced that are going to be coming to PlayStation Plus Extra down the line. So they're whatever they are, and I wasn't overly sold or convinced by those trailers, but whatever they are, they're day one drops on PlayStation Plus as well. So that was kind of the whole PlayStation Plus thing bundled up. Was there anything that kind of was of interest to you at all?
No, because I don't have the
You're not on
PS
Plus,
thing.
Extra
Not
or above?
anymore. I just have the online thing, which is
Essential, just
like-
that base tier.
just the basic one. Because I thought, I'm going to cancel it. Then I realized I can't play Monster Hunter if I don't have a PlayStation Plus subscription. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I thought, but I do get 3 games a month.
Yes,
Don't
the
care if
base
it's
and the
not
base tier is
because-
pretty solid.
Yeah, as I say, so they might not be good, but I can't complain because I could get no games a month and just have it online and the save cloud. Because that's the other thing too. I just thought I would rather keep that save cloud more than anything, because
Yeah.
it does come in handy sometimes, that save cloud.
I'm just...
All the other games, don't care.
Yeah. I mean, look, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. I might check out. I know Jess is crazy about the game, so she's really keen to play it, and there'll be undoubtedly some thoughts on Player 2 when the time comes. But maybe. But I'm in no hurry. There was nothing there that necessarily jumped out at me. I'm not an Armored Core guy. Patapon 3 I've been and played already. We'll see. Next up, though, is a new IP. It was another one of the... I would say from this point, I guess I don't totally know your opinion yet. There's only 4 games still to be shown here, and I feel like it's from this point where they really just exploded in terms of the quality. I had no concerns about anything from this point onwards. Tides of Annihilation is the first one. And again, we were talking about PlayStation's investment in the Chinese market. Now, this game is coming to Xbox as well, but it could well be a Black Myth style situation again. We'll see. Tides of Annihilation's coming out of China, but there's a whole bunch of ex-Yakuza developers and a whole bunch of different people that are working on this one. There's lots of really talented, ex-developers from Yakuza, For Honor, Assassin's Creed, Persona, and Prince of Persia all working on it. It's not Souls-like from the looks of it. No, I don't believe it's a Souls-like. I believe it's just like an action game, like a more akin to like a Devil May Cry or something like that. Maybe not quite that sort of level of speed, but like an action RPG in that sort of vein, more so than a Souls style experience. If it's Souls, I'm out. But
I was saying that was my concern if it was, because it looks good, but then the combat, you thought, it looks Souls-like. But sometimes the trailer doesn't really tell you the whole story. But if it's not, great.
Light
But it
RPG
is.
elements, apparently.
Light
Light.
RPG. No, you don't want to hear that heavy RPG. That's just ridiculous. Well, that's a medium RPG. Light. What does it mean by light RPG? Just
some very base level systems, like in the same way that Borderlands is just light. Like there's the stats and stuff there, but you're not going really deep like you would with a full blown RPG with stats everywhere.
So it's just pretty much, here's a sword, use it.
But you might want to find. But if you get this better sword with better stats, then you might want to jump ship and use that one. That sort of thing. So this is what the gamer has said when they read it. Action is back. Oh, geez, that's a shit start. But anyway, it was already a standout from the state of play, but I felt wary. It looked like a cool action game, but it could have easily been yet another Souls-like. Worse, it gave a mild, not quite there yet vibe of a Forspoken. Thankfully, we've now seen 11 minutes of gameplay, and I refer back to my first sentence. Action is better. So they've come around on the whole thing. But yeah, they're drawing comparisons to Bayonetta, to Astral Chain, which would then by extension also mean the Devil May Cries, those sorts of games. So, and certainly I saw some Final Fantasy to it. I'm all about what they showed with that one. It's one of my real standouts for the show, especially if it isn't a Souls-like in the end. If it creeps that way, well, they better have difficulty modes. Any other thoughts on Tides Tides of Annihilation.
Not really, but this is where the point where the irritation levels start to disappear after this, because it only took 35 minutes to get to the good stuff.
It's all they always save the best for the end, though. Let's jump into Metal Eden then, which looks very Doom in terms of the way it plays. So it's kind of unfortunate it's launching in May alongside Doom.
Oh dear, bad idea.
I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea in the world, but I was pretty keen on what they were showing. Like I really liked the look of it. Never heard of it before until this point.
Me either. There's like, ooh, a sort of a Doom style shooter game. Not quite Doom, unless it's in Hell or Mars.
Raycon Games, what have they done? I'm
Probably
going to do a little bit of research while we go here, but
if it comes up with like a really bad game, then I'm concerned.
they're a
Like,
team
ooh.
from Warsaw in Poland. Oh, they did Ruiner.
Oh.
Did you ever play Ruiner back in a while back? I mean, that was far more indie.
Oh, they've really upped their game
than
then.
what this looks. It looks like they're really going for it when it comes to scope and scale. But like Ruiner was a good game, so the team's got talent. We'll just see what comes of it, I guess. Weirdly though, Ruiner actually in 2024 got and I remember hearing about this at the time and didn't think much more of it. But Wes Ball got the film adaptation rights for Ruiner, which is niche indie suddenly got like.
Wait,
I didn't get it.
where's Ball?
Yeah.
Who's Where's Ball?
I don't know, some film producer. Don't think he's done necessarily good stuff from memory. Hang on, let me double check that.
Wait, is that the German guy?
Where's Ball? What's he done? Did the Maze Runner?
Oh,
All
okay.
three Maze Runners. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is good. And, hang on, and that's right. Where's Ball was the one that's working on the Legend of Zelda adaptation as well.
Oh. So someone else I was thinking of.
But
It's
actually,
not
this
him.
guy's got chops. Like the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I think was one of the newest ones. Like that was meant to be really.
Yeah, that was last
like,
year.
All
That
of
was
these
last
Planet of the
year's
Apes ones are meant to be really, really good. So it's kind of a total aside to what we're talking about here with the new game Metal Eden. But like,
Was the Maze Runner a bad movie?
I don't know about the Maze Runner games, but movies. But you can only work with what you got to work with. I would trust anyone who's going to sit and work with Miyamoto though on Zelda. But we'll see. Anyway, any other thoughts though on Metal Eden?
No.
It's a good looking FPS.
Yes. That's all I can say. Yes. A good FPS. Something that, let's be honest, I don't know if it's just a Sony-based game or not. But if it is, it's something that Sony really, really desperately needs is a first-person shooter. If it is. It's not like they're going to say, hey, it's available on Xbox or PC.
It is on PC. The publisher's Deep Silver, so that's under the PlayOn umbrella.
Oh.
So it's going to be probably
Deep
coming
Silver?
to. It's probably going to be coming to
That
Xbox as well.
concerns
And
me.
actually, there's clearly been hands-on with it. So, as well as being revealed at this thing, I've just spotted that Press Start has a hands-on preview with it. And I'm sure that releases PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And clearly, they didn't know the date when they did it, and they haven't realized because it just says Metal Eden released on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on month, day.
It's a good day, that one.
I might just flag that with Shannon that he might want to fix that one. But
Is there a month where it's just comma day? Oh, where is comma day?
they clearly didn't know the date when they were writing the preview in the first place. But
Oh, I say just leave it.
Ruiner came out 8 years ago though, so they've had lots of time to work on this. So
You said
I
Deep
love the
Silver.
way it look.
You
Yeah,
said
Deep Silver's the
That
publisher.
concerns me a bit because Deep Silver haven't had the best run with games yet.
No, so obviously Saints Row, the
Saints
reboot
Row.
there didn't work, but before that, they
Nope.
did there's Dead Island stuff, the Metro Exodus,
Is it Jaws, didn't they?
Chorves, Maneater, like mostly good.
Oh, Maneater. I forgot about Maneater.
Mostly good. I'd say the real flop is the most recent most recent Saints Row.
Saints Row. Okay.
Yeah, even like
Sounded
Dead
like
Island
that.
2 from 2023 was great. So I'm confident in terms of the publisher, and then the developer's got chops. So They clearly, I guess, scaled up in a big way because Ruiner was published by Devolver. And I don't think Devolver is going to work with games that are quite the size and scope of what this might potentially be. So, I don't know. There's a few things there that tick the right boxes. But let's move on because we've got 2 games to go. And we've been talking for over an hour already. Mind's Eye, which comes from ex-GTA talent. In fact, Mr. Menzies, I think it was Benzies, is Leslie Benzies. He was one of the producers on like GTA 3, 4, 5, maybe even some of San Andreas. I'm gonna have to double check. Yeah, hang on, here we go. GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City, and Vice City Stories. GTA 4, all the DLC for that. He did Chinatown Wars, Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire. Like, he's been on everything that they've done. And there was a lot of GTA qualities about this, but it was a bit of a ugly breakup when he left. He left and then sued them because there was a whole bunch of money that they owed him, unpaid royalties or whatever. It seems like he's invested all of that money that he's basically won from this case into an attempted GTA killer that's going to come out sometime this year, probably going head-to-head with GTA.
Well, we can start off with saying it's not going to be a GTA killer. But
no, it's totally different. It's got a lot of Watch Dogs sort of qualities. It's sci-fi and those sorts of things.
It's got a bit of everything. It's got a bit of everything. I look at it and go, it's got a bit of cyberpunk in it. I thought for a second, bit of Driver, just by the look of the car. And then all of a sudden, it's like, there's combat. So I thought, okay. This is completely just pulled me off. Not pulled me off, it just got me off guard. I thought, okay, you now have my attention, whoever you are, ex-Rockstar man. And I thought, I'm into this game. It's like, I am very interested.
Yeah, I'm all about
40 minutes. The 40 minutes of crap that I just watched. And finally, frustration levels have finally disappeared after this trailer. Irritation, gone.
Just completely gone.
One trailer.
The timing was very good then for that to be the case, considering our final title. But yeah, I'm all about this. I'm keen to see more. I hope that. I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard rumblings that potentially this might even be something that PlayStation has locked down as an exclusive. It's on PC, but I don't know. Oh no, and then for some reason it's saying Xbox. Maybe that's not the case anymore. Maybe it's just they were a bit slow in terms of getting all the information out there.
Is it also releasing on month.com?
I haven't checked. I haven't checked press start for that one. PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox. No, it is coming everywhere. So scratch that one. But published by IO Interactive as well. So the Hitman developers.
Oh, former or still?
Hey.
I swear, Hitman's been shipped around a lot.
No, but this is the developers. They've started their own kind of publishing arm, essentially.
So we can throw in Hitman in there as well as a inspiration.
For sure. So that was our second last game. That takes us to the one PlayStation Studios game that we got in this entire showcase, but they ended pretty well with Saros. I can't remember how it was pronounced. Saros
or Saros, yeah.
I heard it get mentioned in there.
We can say it in the Australian way of Saros.
Well, we've got no real excuse because, and I've forgotten his name now, but the guy who spoke about it afterwards, he is an Aussie.
Yeah, he is too, yeah.
He is an Aussie. Because,
damn it.
Can't for the life of me think of his name now. He was on my hit list for Dev Diary for ages, but...
I'll find his name.
Because he also made this... He was part of like an Aussie team that made this hilarious game about a koala. Hang on.
Oh, yes, I remember that game. What's your name, you bastard? Gregory Loudon.
Greg Loudon, yeah.
That's an Australian man. Then he said who the developer was.
It was called Stone, that's right. Because it was about a stoner koala. Good shit, really good shit. Well, it wasn't. The game was fine, but like he played a big part in Returnal, and this is basically taking a lot of the DNA from Returnal, but with a bit more permanence to what you do. It's less about the runs and it's less about the roguelite stuff, and a bit more about an experience that you'll you'll die in for sure. And like it was nice to see like in the reflection of the eye, you could kind of see like the bullet, like the very arcade style bullet spiral that was kind of coming that way. Um, there's still going to be those elements, but it feels like it's going to be a bit more accessible, and I think maybe a bit more logical for people who play it as well. And Raul Coley is an awesome actor as well, and who's going to be playing the main role. We're going to see gameplay later this year as well. They mentioned in there, like I'm keen, real keen. It's coming out next year.
Yeah, I think the one thing, because Housemarque here, because I thought I always wanted another Returnal game, and I thought, do I really want the same type of style as Returnal? I thought not really, but this is probably better. Second best, I should say. So you could probably just say this is couldn't say a sequel, just part of a trilogy. You could say, yeah, whatever. It's like it's by the same thing, has the same elements, but it's not exactly the same gameplay style. So this time, we know you're gonna die. Even he said it. That's what he said in the trailer. If anyone's want to know, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna die." Like, okay, cool. At least we know we're gonna die. At least
it's in this
case, dying is good. But every time I just hear Rahul Kohli's voice, I just think of what's his name? Like Fuzz, whatever is from Gears of War 5.
Was Rahul Kohli in Gears 5?
Yeah, he's James's English best friend, because I just remember he's like, "What's your name, Fuzz?" And this is Marcus. It's like the funniest quote in the thing. He's like, "What's your name, Fuzz?" Yeah, and Marcus just goes, "Shut the fuck up, Fuzz," and I just laugh at it because I think it's funny.
Right. Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Because every time I just hear his voice, because I would say it's a very unique British accent, so you can just pick it from a mile away. It's like, oh, that sounds like Raoul Coley. Looked it up. It's like, yeah, it is. It's like, was it Claudia Black?
Yeah, Claudia Black.
Australian. Australian, like she's in Gears of War. Every time you hear her voice in a video game, you go, "Yep, that's Claudia Black."
That's Chloe Fraser.
Chloe Fraser. Yep, see, same accent. Like, yeah, I know that accent. I know that person's voice.
Oh, I don't think I'd twigged or had completely forgotten about Rahul Kohli though. Either way, kind of cool. And yeah, you said it really well. Game looks awesome. Can't wait to play it. Any other thoughts on the state of play? Because we should wrap this one up. We've been going for an hour and probably close to an hour 20 at this point, considering that technical hiccup we had at the beginning. Any other thoughts?
No other thoughts, but I'll just say like the first, I'd say 25 to 30 minutes, as I've already said through the whole show, irritated me. Wasn't anything to do with PlayStation. It's just the fact that games that are coming out in less than a week or two, 2K and WWE Stupid Island, which is probably where I got incredibly annoyed because I know what it's going to be. Most frustration. That's not PlayStation's fault. That's a 2K problem, not PlayStation. So I'm not taking my anger. I think I'm not taking the anger out on PlayStation. That's not their fault. It's not like something like compared to last year's state of play, which was just, hey, online games, multiplayer, and everyone's just thinking, no, and say, hey, here's the Suicide Squad. I don't know if that was last year or the year before.
No, it was last year because it was the lead up to.
Yeah, and then everyone just thought that's garbage. And about 2 days later, Rocksteady said, we're delaying the game.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Yeah, that would have been 2023 because then it came out early last year.
Yeah. Either way, when that thing came out, it did not get a very good reception whatsoever. Yeah. And then they delayed it. But this, we didn't see much of whatever Scarrows is. But it's not until 2026, so that's fine. I'm not.
And they've already promised gameplay. We're going to see gameplay this year, so that's pretty cool. And they did everything they... Go on, sorry.
Yeah, so it said 2026. I was like, cool, I'm not bothered. Like, you look at GTA 6. They showed a trailer 2 years ago. Haven't seen anything since. No one's complained whatsoever. Yeah. Which is... Because anytime you don't see any gameplay, people get upset. For instance, God of War Ragnarok, when it was slowly coming out. People got irritated about that. Yeah. But hey. Yeah, I would give it, if I had to give it a marking.
Go on.
I'm going to say 7 out of 10, only because the start of it was just
slow. The downs were real downs for you.
The downs were real downs, but the ups were real ups. So I can't give it a 5 because that's not been very nice. So a 7 because those last 4 games I reckon really did save.
Really lifted it.
Even though my tweet now I look at it with the garbage and things. I think that was just because of, to be
Some
honest,
WWE rage.
I think it wasn't the state of play itself. I think, yeah, what you said. I think it was just the island that I got incredibly annoyed about.
And you definitely came away, I think, clearly, and we've probably potentially rectified a few things here, but you also came away feeling like a lot more of those games were Souls-likes than they perhaps actually were in the end.
Yes, that too.
We could still be wrong, but yeah, it seems like a few of those aren't, so that probably didn't help as well. Look, I'm really happy with it. Obviously, for the most part, I've been pretty positive about a lot of the games that came up, but also they did what they did here without having, like, they announced a new IP. This is now talking about the first party side of it. They didn't have to. They announced a new IP coming from Housemarque, but they didn't at the same time have to rely on Wolverine. They didn't have to rely on Intergalactic. They didn't have to rely on Ghost of Yote. They didn't have to rely on Death Stranding 2, which is probably going to get its release date in March. I don't know if you saw, Kojima's got a South by Southwest panel where it's all just dedicated to Death Stranding 2. I'm almost certain they're going to announce the date there.
Is Jeff Keighley going to host it? Because he's,
No, but he's very keen to get over there. They've also... there's a whole bunch of reports about some God of War stuff. There's still the rumors off the back of the Insomniac leak about Venom being a game that potentially comes out this year. They managed to do all of this stuff without having to, put together a pretty good showcase without having to really lean on the biggest of hitters to try and win people over. And then since then, we've learned that Fair Games, the one from Jade Raymond's team, is potentially, we don't know for sure yet, but potentially delayed to 2026. That is one of the very few live service games that's still up and running over there. Between that and the Horizon stuff, I think they did a good job of showing off some like really cool new games along with some stuff that we already knew about. Looked after the third party publishers that they've got their partnerships with, and mostly paced it pretty well. Yeah, there were some downs. Five Nights at Freddy's was completely forgettable. WWE 2K as well, but other than that, I was pretty happy. For me, it's probably closer to like the 8.5 because there wasn't as many things that kind of pulled it down for me. Any other thoughts though?
No.
All right. Let's wrap it up then. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patch, Player 2 Plays, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. Like I mentioned, check out the website in the next 24 hours for Yakuza Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. There'll be stuff there on the website about that.
It is a tongue twister, that one.
It is a tongue twister. We did also have a review for Avowed go up the other day, I guess referencing the fact that popped up earlier. People can go check out that review, and I'm also working with Jess and Matt it's slightly after the fact now, but to get a review discussion going for that one, which will probably pop up on the Patch podcast feed as well. And then obviously we're getting closer and closer to Monster Hunter, so stay tuned for more on that when the time comes. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's the socials. Matto
Phil or Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next time, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you later. They did it without Helldivers. And there was all the Astrobot levels that they announced the very next day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they announced another 5. A few of them with really sexual names too, which was pretty funny.
Isn't that a kid's game?